So I knew that I needed to create this video so that my secondary teachers can feel me on this and I can share some true ideas that I think will work for sure so that you can end the year happy, stress-free, and that your kids will hopefully engage in this and you can just have like one last hurrah. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This video is a little bit different because it's not necessarily a teacher tech tip video. However, I am no stranger to sit down videos. I thought this would be a great idea. Again, everything that I see on YouTube or Instagram, a lot of it is heavily primary school related. I think that primary students are just more susceptible to creativity and to wanting to be in activities such as those. However, I teach secondary, and in secondary, it's a whole nother story. There's no way that I can convince my students to create a scrapbook or to be appropriate like across the board. There's just no way that any of those ideas will fly for my students. So I knew that I needed to create this video so that my secondary teachers can feel me on this and I can share some true ideas that I think will work for sure for your secondary classroom so that you can end the year happy, stress-free, and that your kids will hopefully engage in this and you can just have like one last hurrah. Number one is the only cheesy one I'm going to share with you, I promise. It's a memory video. So if you are like me and you go around and you take a lot of pictures when students are doing certain activities in your class, or you take video so that you can show and share and collaborate with other teachers, then now is the time to pull out all of those pictures and videos and just put a sappy song that they maybe know or will like behind it and share it with them. I think it's a very thoughtful way to end the year for yourself as well as for your students. It shows that you miss them, that you took some time to do something for them, and it's a memory that you'll have, both you and your student, for years to come. Number two is something that I actually assigned to my students this week. However, I made it optional. So I gave them the option to write a letter to their future selves and to include an email if they wanted me to send it back to them in 1 year. Some of them got really creative and they went really deep and they talked about what they liked and they told themselves to continue pushing forward and continue working hard. Others were silly and just gave each other tips and said, oh, well, I hope your hair still looks great and I hope you're still doing well in school. But one, it's a great way for them to think about the future and not get stuck in what we're in right now. And it's a way for them to really think about their future. What do they want to study? What do they want to do when they grow up? And thirdly, it's a way for you to connect with them, because if they do give you their email, then you can send it to them and connect with them even though you're not their teacher in the future. And just to add on, since this is an optional assignment, if you choose to make it optional, I don't know how many grades you have in your grade book, how many grades you still need to finish off the year, but I already have enough grades for this marking period, so I made this assignment basically, if you did it, I would replace any zeros from this marking period, which I'm sure most of our students have at least one assignment they have not completed during distance learning for the most part. I do have a lot of like 4.0 A's, like they've done every single thing. But there are a lot of them that it's like the end and there's no way they're gonna go back to do all those things. So giving them new fun assignments allows them to make up those zeros while still engaging and doing something productive. Idea number three is an end of the year Zoom where we can do quizzes or Kahoot and just have fun. Make sure you schedule it as an end of the year thing so that the students know it's gonna be fun. It's not necessarily a lesson. And if you want, you can give them extra credit for attending, which also boosts up their grade for the end of the grading period, and who doesn't want to do that? Number four and number three are basically free-for-alls. So what I mean by that is you're wrapping up your grading period, you want to see your students succeed, you want to see them do well. Nobody wants to see their student get an F during a distance learning grading period. One idea, which is number four, is to have a free A. So as an end of the year celebration, or in the spirit of end of the year, you can tell the students that you are eliminating one low grade or 1 0 from their grade book, and that is kind of like a gift from you to them. I have more than 135 students. There's no way that I can physically gift them something, and I don't want to give them virtual certificates because I don't want other students feeling bad. I have so many students that have worked so hard that I wouldn't want any of them to leave the school year not having anything in their hands. So I thought about all those recognition type things, but there's no way for me to recognize each one of my students with the time that I have allotted. I mean, some teachers may have that time, however, I do not. And if you're like me and don't have time to do individualized gifts, then this is something that's definitely a gift to your students. It doesn't cost you anything, and it definitely will help them in the long run. And the last one, going along with that thought process, number 5, is a free week. So you can tell them, congratulations, you completed distance learning. We finished the 9 weeks or however many weeks in the grading period you have. Take this week to catch up on other classes, catch up on this class if you need to, and just kind of reflect on everything that we've done during this difficult time. And it's a free week in that you didn't assign anything new. You are able to connect with them, maybe message them, check in with some of them that haven't checked in at all during distance learning. Even if it's not to check in to do assignments, because maybe that expectation is gone at this point, then you can just, check in. Hey, how are you doing? How's your family? Do you have anything that you need? Is there any way that I could help? Please don't hesitate to message me. So that can also be a free week for you to reach out to them and not have to worry about putting a ton of grades into the grade book because you didn't technically assign them something. Those are my 5 ideas for you for ending the year for secondary students. I think they're very realistic. I think that your students and you will enjoy them. Some of the things that my students are working on now are the letter to your future self, like I mentioned. My journalism class is working on creating their own blog and having at least one post that they can continue with. I created a choice board for my law studies class so that they can choose any of the options that I gave them in order to make up any grades that they're missing. So I'm kind of doing a little bit of everything that I shared with you. I'm also doing a Zoom meeting this week with my teacher bestie and also fellow teacher. We're going to be Zooming with our kids together. And we share all the same kids pretty much, so I know that's going to be great. And I'm also working on a memory video to share with my students for the end of the year. So this list by no means is a checklist. Don't feel like you need to do all these 5 things and more to be the best teacher ever. But I definitely think they're realistic ideas that you may already be doing and not realizing them. But just know that anything you're doing for your students to give them the best experience possible, as stress-free as possible for yourself as well, is a lot already. So I hope you have a great end of the year and I hope you enjoyed these ideas. Don't forget to like this video if you did like it, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe for another video. If you'd like a free download of my choice boards, the link is down below. I'll see you in my next video.